Hello friends, how is it going? It's me, Betty Jean. Fall is upon us, so it is time for my autumn favorites. I am so excited. This is always my favorite time of year. I love the vibes. Grungy makeup is what I gravitate towards regularly anyways, and this season just hits so hard for that. I just love it. I love the colors, I love the tones, I love just the vibes. It's all so good. This is gonna be an accumulation of some of my favorite makeup products that fit my personal vibe for fall. I mention this every season, but it goes without saying that these aren't the only things I'm gonna use for the whole season. I'm also still gonna do things that maybe stray outside of that box as well. Like maybe I'll get the urge to wear pastel pink one of the days, who knows? But this is just kind of the general vibe that I think of when I think of autumn for this year, and these are the products that kind of reflect that. I have a mixture of blushes, eyeshadows, liners, and lips. I have various colorful things that I'm so excited to share them with you. Before we hop into it, I did of course film this look. It should already be on my channel by the time this video goes up. It's a members only get ready with me. You can access this and all of the other members only get ready with me's by joining my channel membership in the description box. As far as my accessories today go, I don't know where this choker's from. These earrings are from Grateful Life Designs, Graytful. And then I have to shout out the sweater because it's so cute, this haunted library situation. It's from Book Babe Designs on Instagram. I know she was only running the sale on this spooky book line through like mid-September, so maybe it's still available, maybe not, but if it's still available, I would hop on it soon if you're interested because these won't be around forever. All right, so without further ado, I wanna hop in. I wanna chat about all the fall makeup. I'm so excited. So getting into blush first, I have 5 picks. I have a cream, a palette, and 3 singles. As far as the cream goes, I have this blush stick from ColourPop and Coastal Drive. Who even knows if this is still available? I'll have everything that I can link down below, but no promises that everything I talk about will be available. But it looks like that, just a really nice kind of burnt terracotta shade. It's so cute, very just cozy. I love this like kind of burnt orangey vibe. I like that it has that brownish base to it. Very fall. Moving into singles now, I have this one from Kaleidos, this like mustard brown. I believe it's called Joyride. They don't have the names listed on the package itself, so I'll make sure it's down in the description box, but it's just like the prettiest, like golden mustard brown. It's so pretty. I love these blushes. They're so smooth. I feel like they blend really, really beautifully on the skin. This is such a good one. On the topic of brown-based blush, this one in Trippin' from ColourPop, it's one of my favorites. Just this yummy, cozy chocolate brown. It has a little bit of a sheen to it. It is so, so, so gorgeous. I just eat up brown blush this time of year. Brown blush, mustard blush, orange blush, that's like all I want. I also wanted to shout out this one from Salem called Seance on the topic of orange blush. This is such a pretty kind of burnt orange. It's very creamy, very matte, very pigmented, very blendable. It is so beautiful. I love that situation we have right there. And then as far as palettes go, I want to shout out my Menagerie Blush Palette. This is unfortunately not available anymore, and I couldn't find the singles on the website either. So this is more so just a reminder to pull this out if you already own it. But there are some beautiful fall shades in here, like this beautiful mustard I'm wearing a little bit of today, like up here and a little bit on my nose. Persimmon is so good. This like deep red, even these shades of purple. It's just so, so nice. For some reason, these particular blushes do not swatch with a finger. Like product just does not pick up on my finger. So I'm just gonna like dust on the orangey mustardy one. It's so pretty. Do persimmon too, just so you can kind of see that one as well. These are just so pretty. Ugh, I just love those vibes. It's so good. And I like, cause like, these very much have like that neutral base, so you can wear any of the eyeshadows that I'm going to talk about today with these colors and it's always going to look good. Moving on to eyeshadow now. Now this is always so hard for me to even narrow down and curate a selection because so many things I love could fit under this umbrella. I narrowed it down to 15, and I also started either last year or the year before separating my autumnal palettes versus my spooky palettes. So you're not gonna see any Halloween spooky vibe palettes in this particular video because otherwise there would be probably close to 50 palettes, if not 50 palettes. So that'll be a separate video. I'll do a video talking about all of the spooky and Halloween themed palettes that I personally own in my collection. So stay tuned for that. That will be coming at some point. But these are 15 palettes that I feel like have just beautiful, delicious, grungy autumnal vibes, and I'm so excited about them. I have done videos and looks with every single one of these palettes. You can check my various platforms, Instagram, TikTok, my channel specifically. These seasonal favorites do usually present an opportunity for me to try to use as many of these again as I can. I am always very swamped also trying to film with things that are new and relevant, but I do try my best to pull these out again, whether it be like in a get ready with me or a bingo or on my like reels and YouTube shorts. So I will try to attempt to use as many of these palettes again if I'm able to, but just keep in mind I've already done looks with all of these palettes if you need some inspo. In no particular order, I just have them kind of stacked like small to big, but first is the Bard palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. This one is so good. This came out last fall, I believe, and it's just so perfect. I love just like those core mattes of fall with like these really pretty shimmers. I love that pop of blue. I think that adds a really nice interest. It's such a good palette. From Melt Cosmetics, we can't talk about Grungy Autumn without talking about the Gemini palette. This is one of my all-time favorite palettes still. I've actually been wanting to use this soon. It's just so pretty. These delicious grungy vibes. This is still one of my favorite blacks in my whole collection. I've loved this for years and years. It's remained one of my top favorite palettes. It's just too good. Also from Melt, this one's more controversial, but I personally love my 420 palette. I just think it is gorgeous. Still the grungy fall vibes, but a little bit brighter, a little more poppy. I know some people had issues with this palette. I personally have yet to meet a Melt palette that I don't like. I think everything performs beautifully. I just love these colors. They're so delicious. Next, I want to quickly shout out my friend Allie Dawson's collab with Ofra. I'm not super like into Ofra, like it's just not a brand I really shop from, but I was super happy to support my friend's collab when she sent it over, so I wanted to shout this one out again. It's the Falling in Love palette, so literally meant for the fall season, so I wanted to shout this one out in this video as well. Next up from Geology Cosmetics, the Pilbara palette. It looks like this. This one came out like a year or two ago, actually. It's been around for a hot minute. It's really, really pretty though. The formula is really nice. These shimmers are very glossy. The mattes are really pigmented. They came out with their second palette back in spring, I believe, which was fall for Australia. It's an Australian brand, so over there, they're entering spring as we speak. But for me, in my soul, in my life, it is autumn, and this is a perfect autumnal little palette. And I've been wanting to use this one again too, because it's been a while since I pulled this one out, so some inspiration for myself. Next up, the newest collab with Sigma and Angela Bright. This is the Angela Bright palette. Very fall, very autumnal. There's so many yummy shades in here. I was really impressed when I used this palette. I feel like the mattes are really pigmented and the shimmers just give a really nice gloss on the lid. I love the names in here. Like we have some Taylor Swift references like Champagne Problems and Evermore. Autumn Cold Brew Faye, like it's all just giving me the feels, the perfect vibes. And yeah, this one fits the energy I'm trying to perceive really well. Next, another collab actually. This is the Heather Austin palette in collaboration between Heather Austin and Adept Cosmetics. This came out like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I don't even know how long it's been. Maybe it's only been a year. I have no concept of time, but again, this just fits the vibes really well. We have these like core 4 mattes that I feel like really delve into those fall energies and just the lovely, shifty, delicious shimmers. You can kind of see in the mirror here, like how the colors shift versus like dead on, like how they multi-chrome. It's so pretty. So yeah, that's another one. A couple from Ace Beauté. Every single year I have to talk about this one, but the Classical Paradise has remained like one of my top fall palettes for years and years. It's just too good. I have such a big dent in Golden Apple because I always go so hard for that shade this time of year. I love the mustardy tones. I love that bright, bright orange. I love the like appley, grungy reds, because I really don't play with red that much, but these are the kind of reds I do gravitate towards, especially this time of year. I think this is such a classic. I mean, it's called Classical Paradise. Couldn't have been named better. Also from Ace Beauté, the Ambiance palette. This one came out, I think, last fall, actually, and it is just such a good fall palette. This is one of my favorites they've done. I think it's so pretty. I actually want to give this one more love. I haven't gotten to give it enough love, and I'm definitely re-inspired to like these mattes on the bottom are just like perfect fall. I love seeing like this purple with this like muted mustard with that teal, and then like we have the mustards and oranges. It's giving me so many good things, and I love this one. I want to play with it more. Next up from Odin's Eye, I wanted to shout out the Stone and Rock palette that came out earlier this year. I just feel like this gives grungy autumnal swamp witch energy. I love all of these different olives and mustards. I love those pops of like dark teal because I feel like a really dark teal can be very autumnal as well. Yeah, this one is a great palette and I wanted to include it in the mix. Next from Lethal, I think this is called the Metamorphosis palette. It's not listed on the package. Again, I will have everything down below that I'm able to, but this came out I think last year as well. And it's so pretty. I love these warm tones. It's very cozy, very fall, but with a punch because there's like really good dark grungy shades in here, but also really brilliant bright pops with like that orange and like, it's just so good. I just love all these different warm, cozy vibes. I think it's so pretty. This is another one I haven't gotten to give enough love to and I'd love to give it more love. Next up from Nomad Cosmetics, they came out with the Ultimate Fall palette last year, the Hudson Valley. This is just the epitome of fall. So good. Again, we have a mixture of the grungy tones. We have a mixture of pops of brightness, hitting on those classic autumn vibes. It's just so pretty. And it's also like blowing my mind that this came out last fall because it feels like it was literally like a month ago that they launched this. Time is zooming by. I can't take it. So yeah, this is a great pick. I actually played with this and two of these spooky Nomad Cosmetics palettes in a bingo. It'll either already be up by the time this video goes up or it's coming very soon. So stay tuned for that because it was very fun. Next up from Blend Bunny, the All Done Up palette. This is like a grungy neutral dream. And I just feel like these particular shades that are featured in here just scream fall. Like this middle section specifically is so fall. I love these cool tone, very like cold brew-esque browns. And then even these grays are really, really fun. The shimmers in here are so gorgeous. And this is definitely like the autumnal palette for Blend Bunny. But now that I've said that out loud, like it's the 5th as I'm filming this. I don't think this is going up for like 10 days or so. I'm pre-filming a little bit. But now that I've spoken it into existence, by the time this video goes up, there's gonna be like a tease or something from Blend Bunny launching like a fall collection. I mean, fingers crossed, I would love that. I have no insider information. It just happens to me so often that I'll like talk about something or allude to something that I'd like to see. And then by the time the video goes up, there's been teases for it. And then my comments are just filled with, did you see this? Did you see that? Did you see this? And I'm like, yes, I saw it. I manifested it. It was all me. Next up, Unearthly Cosmetics, Leather and Lace. This is just another like classic hitting on those fall vibes. We have the row of olives, the row of burnt oranges, the row of purples. It's just the perfect gradient of matte to light with matching shimmers. Such a good fall pick. And then finally, last but not least, this one strays away from the vibes we've been talking about a little bit, but it still like hits those just with a couple extra pops of spiciness. The Muse palette from Cosmic Brushes. I feel like this still has a lot of those grungy fall tones with like the oranges and like the weird greens, but it also has a couple pops of interest, like the weird like turquoise, a couple like weird pastel-y pops. I feel like this will complement a lot of the things that I talked about, but with a couple extra twists. So wanted to include this one. I love this palette. It's one of my favorites I've tried so far this year. It's so good. Moving on, I have a liquid shadow, a glitter, and some liners. This liquid shadow from e.l.f. It's just so good. I needed an excuse to talk about this one. I want to play with it soon. It's called Dirty Martini. It's one of their shimmer liquid shadows. It's really metallic, really pretty. I feel like this makes a really good liquid liner, honestly. Just such a good metallic grungy olive. I always have to talk about this glitter this time of year. Apocalyptic Beauty All Hallows Eve. Looks like this. There's just like different shades of orange, different sized pieces, little bats in there. It's a Halloween explosion. Disclaimer, you're not supposed to use glitter around your eye. Do as I say, not as I do. I do it, but be careful because you could go blind. Is it worth it? Probably not. So just be careful. I actually used this today while I was looking for my single black water activated liner to do the liner that I'm wearing today, and I couldn't find it. So I pulled this one out and I was like, this would actually be really great for fall in general. So I might just leave this on my table for the next couple months. But this like split cake liner from Gavissi, it's called Neutrals. Like it's literally just a gradient of water activated liners from white to black with various neutrals in the mix. But wouldn't this be so perfect to just like have with all these fall palettes? I could do black, white, I could do various shades of brown, like all the different liners. And you just mix a little bit of water with a brush and just keep it contained to that area so it doesn't all mix together. But yeah, I think this would be a cute little liner situation to have on deck. And now I have some pencils. These are all from ColourPop. There's a high chance none of these are available anymore, so sorry about that. Just shop your stash for your vibes. This one is Idyllic. This is like a really dark, like blackened olive. It's really, really pretty, honestly. I feel like this is really great if I want like a really dark liner, but I don't really want black. This is a good option. This one's Wildcat. This is like a metallic bright olive. I love a metallic liner specifically, and that olive shade just does things for me. It's so good. And then we have the 3 pencils from the original ColourPop Hocus Pocus collection. I don't think these are available anymore, and honestly, I don't know what I'm gonna do when I run out of these because I reach for all 3 of these constantly throughout the entire year. But these are definitely staples for me for autumn. First, we have Black Flame, just like a metallic olivey green. Trick or Treat, I think I reach for the most, this like metallic purple. There's just something about this. It's so appealing and it looks so pretty in the waterline. I like that it has like almost a little bit of mutedness to it, so I can play with it in a very subtle way with it still being purple. And then we have Sisters, this beautiful metallic red. Now I want to watch Hocus Pocus. I might do that today. So pretty. And finally, we have lips. I have 15 narrowed down. Again, I love these grungy fall vibes. If you watch my top 10 series every summer and I get to liquid lipsticks, it's always just an assortment of fall. But I did try to just pick throughout my entire collection, pick out 15 that I feel like fit these palettes and the vibes and the season really well. So let's chat about them. Again, these aren't the only lips I'm gonna wear. I'm also not including things like sheer gloss and basic neutrals because I wear those anyways. These are specifically just hitting on those like autumnal things. What I'm wearing today is Dose of Colors Chocolate Wasted, one of my favorite browns. You know what I'm gonna say if you've been here before. I will die on the hill that everyone looks good in a chocolatey brown lip. If you haven't tried it, please do. It's just bold and powerful, but it's not as like stark as a black. Like it's kind of like a gateway to a black lip. But it's so pretty, so chic, so gorge. I love it. From Lunar Beauty, this is Hallows Eve liquid lipstick. Just such a beautiful, like harvesty, pumpkin-y orange. Look at that. It is so pretty, and I love this formula. For the most part, all of these like are really comfortable on my lips, but with every lip product ever, I always have a lip balm or a lip mask underneath to give it even more like creaminess because I don't like a super dry feeling on my mouth. But for the most part, all of these I could wear even without like a lip balm and it would last all day. I just don't prefer that dry feeling personally anymore. Like I don't want it to feel dry and matte. Moving on to Black Moon, some of my classic favorites are in here, like Hazel. Like you can see how used this is. I really need to replace all 3 of these because they're very used and very dirty and gross. But Hazel's amazing, this olive green. I cannot get enough. I love wearing that lipstick. It's so cool. I also love Cider from Black Moon. I never thought I would love a mustard yellow lip, but as soon as I tried this one years ago, I just fell in love. Something about both of those, like even though they're a color, like it's green and yellow, somehow they have that like muted grungy energy enough to give it like almost a neutral appearance. Like I don't feel weird when I wear them and I get so many compliments. I think they're so cool. This purple has been a favorite for a long time as well, Purgatory. Such a beautiful, just like dark, rich purple. Ugh, these colors just bring me so much happiness. Is there a season that just like brings you the most happiness just simply because of the vibes? Like Halloween, autumn, fall, like there's just nothing better. I love the holiday season as well, don't get me wrong. Like it is Christmas in my house on November 1st, but there's just something about the autumn season. Really everything between now through Christmas, I'm just the happiest. I also can't not shout out my favorite black of all time, which is Black Moon's Sleepwalker. The ultimate black lip. It's just so good. It's so dark and amazing and just such a fantastic black. I have this one from Melt. This is called Ginger. This is very much a like burnt, grungy, orangey brown. It's so, so pretty. And I just love the Melt liquid lipstick. Something about the wand, the way it glides over my lips, it just always makes my lips look really good. I don't know how to explain it. Oh, I have another Dose of Colors one that I forgot to mention. I should have mentioned it when I talked about Chocolate Wasted, but Cork. This is one of my all-time favorites in my entire collection. Like I think it is my #1 favorite and it has been for years. I've gone through so many of these. It looks a little more basic and neutral comparatively to these other ones, but it's very much a like warm, cozy, like orangey based brown. It's so cute and yummy. Back on the mustard train, Whiskey and Honey from Give Me Glow is such a pretty mustardy brown as well. I feel like this one has a little more oranginess to it than Cider does. Cider is very much a true mustard. This one's more orangey based and it's so pretty. Jeanette from Unearthly Cosmetics is also on a similar theme. It's kind of like that orangey mustard brown. They're very similar. This one's almost just like, it's just a slight tonal difference, but they're very similar. Also from Unearthly is Mandy, a really cute olivey shade. This one's slightly lighter than Hazel, but both are so cute. And last, I just have some lip clays from Kaleidos. I love the lip clay formula. Bloodstone first. I wanted to talk about some form of a red. This one's very much a like brown based red. So, because I really don't wear red that much this time of year. I'm not a big red person. But this brown based red is something I can get behind because it's so like dark and grungified that it doesn't feel like I'm wearing a bright red lip. Also Cognac, this is a really pretty warm reddish brown as well. It's just a little bit lighter. There's a little bit more red popping through, but again, when I wear it, I don't feel like I'm wearing a bright red lip. I very much feel like I'm just wearing like a grungy warm brown and it's so good. This is Queen of the Night, a really beautiful dark purple. It's just so pretty and it has a little more warmth to it than Purgatory does, actually a lot more warmth to it. I just look at all these colors. And finally, last but not least, this is our wild card, as if these aren't already wild enough. But I really wanted to talk about Agave, because like I said, I feel like a teal can sometimes look very fall as well. I'll just put it here at the bottom so it's kind of in line with everything else. Something about that teal, like it can really look very fall. Like I feel like especially like this next to the mustards, there's just something about it. I really like wearing this lip in particular with like maybe a very basic eye. Like maybe I just have a winged liner on and some lashes and maybe a pop of like something mustardy in the inner corner and then slap that lip over top. It's just such a good statement lip and plays so nicely just as a solo act. But it also does complement other things really well. But I really felt compelled to include that this time, so there you have it. All right, so that about rounds it up for my autumn favorites for this year. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to hear your thoughts. Are you obsessed with any of these as much as I am? What are your favorite things for autumn? What are the vibes you're going for? I would love to know. If you made it to the end of this video, you know, leave some autumnal emojis. That's what we're talking about today. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel out a lot. And if you're not already, you can follow me on my other socials. You can join the BATTYBEAN fam. I'm BATTYBEAN on everything, Instagram, TikTok, you know the drill. And if you want, you can subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. I'm posting most days here as well. And also, like I mentioned at the beginning, feel free to join my channel memberships. The link to sign up will be down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.